Good afternoon, good afternoon. You made it. We're so glad you're here for our final panel on AI for small businesses. My name is Jala Kemian. I'm with Stand Together, and I'm going to let our panelists introduce themselves.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for staying to the end. You saved for the best session, so congratulations to yourselves. My name is Cliff Worley. I'm the Senior Director of Growth Marketing at Capeport Capital. It's a venture capital firm out in Oakland, California. We invest in entrepreneurs. Shout out Oakland. We invest in entrepreneurs that are building products that are helping improve the lives of low-income communities.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. I'm Cynthia Nevels, President of Integrality and the founder of Start, Pivot, Grow Accelerator here in Dallas, Texas, and extremely happy to be here.
I know this is a conversation that everyone's been waiting to hear because throughout the whole weekend, every single conversation, whether from this stage or the other rooms, there's been a mention of AI and the role it plays in how we run, start, and grow our businesses. And so the first thing I want to know is, how did you become an AI expert? How did you become an AI advocate?
Yes, so in my role, I help venture-backed startups grow and scale through marketing. I see a lot of different marketing tools to really help businesses, and one day I said, let me create a marketing video series where every single day I'll just release a new marketing tool that I've seen. And so this was probably August of 2022. And in November 2022, my sister texted me, she says, "Have you seen that thing called ChatGPT?" I was like, "No." And I went and checked it out, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do marketing tools anymore. I'm gonna do AI tools." So I started switching over to doing content around AI. There's so many AI tools being built. Around January 2023, a friend of mine says, "Hey, I really love what you're doing with your marketing tools and AI tools." He's like, "I built a website of all your tools." He watched every single video. So I built a website. I said, if I got a website, I need to build a newsletter. So I ended up building a newsletter on AI. And then I started doing a whole bunch of speaking around all these AI tools that I'm seeing. I actually was a mentor at Black Ambition at the end of 2023. And that's actually how I ended up on stage, just telling everybody about all the tools that are out there for small businesses.
So my route was a little different. I'm from old school, and I was not trusting AI at all. In 2003, I told my son, who's 30 years old, I said, "Don't put my face, don't put my name, don't put my address, don't put none of that into ChatGPT, whatever it was," right? Don't put my name in it. But with my restaurant, I needed some food photography completed or done, and the quotes I was receiving was $2,000, $2,500, $3,000, and I just did not want to pay that kind of money to take pictures of a hamburger. And so I called my son back, and I was like, "Hey, baby, can you make your mama some photographs of the food from our menu using that ChatGPT?" And he said, "Yeah, mama." And when it came back, the realness of the imagery blew my mind. It didn't even take him 15 minutes to do it. And we used that imagery, and it increased my Instagram following and engagement significantly, and I was sold. And so I just started out of necessity, and I didn't want to spend the money.
So I'm hearing two things. I'm hearing, number one, for you, you're someone who's always looking for tools for the people that you work with, and you realize this is a tool that can be very useful, and you need to know about it so you can share the news with others. And I hear from you, same thing. You realized this was a tool, but you didn't care about it because it sounded like end time stuff. And so, you had a need, and you saw how this tool so quickly met your need with reduced cost. You were like, "I'm sold." Beautiful. Here in the audience, some of you are probably a lot like our panelists. I want to do a quick survey, just by raising your hands. I want to see where we are on the spectrum. I'm going to lay out 3 different places you might be in your relationship to AI, and then I'm going to come back and ask you to raise your hand. So the first one that we said is, I'm familiar with AI, but I'm not sure how it's going to impact my success in my business. That's the first one. The second one is, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to think about it. I don't like that stuff. And the third one is, I've already started using AI, and I've seen the benefits in my business, but I want to know how to go further. So who's the first person? Who's part of the first group? I'm familiar with AI, but I want to know how to really use it in my business. We're going to get there. We're going to have a question and answer period, I promise. Yeah. Who's the first one? And then the second one, don't want to touch it. Don't, I don't want to hear about it. Okay. And then the third one is, I've been using it. I feel kind of good, but I want to know how to use it better. Great, great. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and satisfy our audience. How did that work enhance the picture, make it so real?
How did I use it?
How did he make that digital photograph that he created look so realistic for you?
Okay. It's all about the prompts, and so I told him, choose these 3 items from our menu, and I want you to make it look like what I create in the restaurant. And so I told him what ingredients I want and what I wanted to appear in the imagery and what angle, and so it was all based on the prompts. And so when you perfect the prompts, it's going to give you some iterations that are not right, that doesn't look right the first few times. You got to keep prompting to get better, to be clear of what you want what you want the output to be. So he just kept getting better and better at the prompts and explaining and telling what he wanted it to produce for him. And then ultimately, you have to be very specific. And ultimately what happened was the final outputs that we approved were perfect. You couldn't honestly tell that it wasn't real food.
And I got a couple tools for you. I'm the tool guy. There's a tool called Ideogram, Ideogram. It's probably one of the best AI tools for photos. There's also FreePic, and that's P-I-K, so free and then P-I-K. Can create photos very well, and then this is the prompting secret. It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna be so easy, but it's gonna blow your mind. Whenever you don't know what to prompt ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT what should you prompt it. I'm telling you, that right there is gold.
I wish you'd told me that before I spent $4,000 on that ChatGPT training that I took. Wonderful. So you guys have already started. What are some of the benefits to businesses if they use AI? Mm-hmm. And Cliff, thank you for reminding us that it goes beyond the whole ChatGPT, which is where most of us started, right? But there's a whole world out there, which I know you're an expert on and you're going to share, keep giving us the nuggets. So what are some of the benefits?
Go ahead.
I mean, I would say, I've seen probably at least, 2,000-3,000 AI tools. And the thing that keeps coming back to me, and this would be my AI hot take, is that I think AI is going to make all of us small business owners. Because there are so many tools now that are they're either free or they're cheap, that can do things that we used to have to pay people for. So more and more tools that are being created are just at this price where, like, for example, I'll give you a couple examples. I had a contract that I had to sign, and I didn't want to pay a lawyer to interpret it for me, so there's a tool called Layman Law where it breaks down legal documents in layman terms. So I'm like, I don't know what this paragraph means. Can you explain it to me? Explains it in legal terms. I basically say, is there anything that I should be aware of that's not good for me? And it will tell me. The other thing I'll say is, think of AI as your universal personal intern, okay? This is one of the smartest people out there for $20 a month, if you want to pay $20 a month, right? So before you go hire somebody, you might want to think to save some money and see if you can create it with AI. The other thing that's happening in AI, I know a lot of people play around with ChatGPT, but they're starting to make these specialized AI tools. So there's a tool for graphic design. There's a tool for logo creation. There's a tool for pictures. There's a tool for legal. There's a tool for hiring. I mean, there's tools for everything, and more tools are being developed daily, so just know that that's coming. So before you say, oh, I want to go hire somebody to go do this, you might be able to do it with ChatGPT and another tool for free. I got you.
So I call AI the great equalizer. It's a secondary equalizer next to crowdfunding, and I don't think that we as a people explored crowdfunding as much as we should have and could have when it was hot. AI allows us to do several things: be more productive in our businesses, save when it comes to spending money, as Cliff mentioned, and increase our profit margins, which is what we should be paying for. And in many different ways, and let me give you a few examples of how I've helped clients use it, but also how I use it in my business firsthand. For instance, accounting. If you are not very strong in accounting and reading and creating your financial statements, you can use AI to help you analyze your financials, show you where the gaps are and where the opportunities are, and compare your business to other businesses like yours. Phenomenal ability to see into the data. The other is business management and operations and procedures. If you have not created procedures, processes, workflows within your business, honey, you can do that in 30 minutes using AI and have a whole policy manual created without paying $1,000 to get it done, which also shows other people that work for you how I want my business to run, which is a major area that's missing. The other is if you're in the tech field, let's say you work in the field as an AC or HVAC company, being able to analyze your market using artificial intelligence to see when are these homes going to need more HVAC services, and using that data in order for you to build and prepare for the future. You can't get that without paying a research firm to give you that data. And then other areas, when you look at fashion and food, as I mentioned, I wrote an article about Shein, and how Shein has built this billion-dollar business off of using AI. They create the imagery that we see on Instagram, and when we give them $7, they made that this morning, and then they made the clothes ready for you, and then they sell millions in a day using AI. That stuff is imagery made from AI, and they make it up day by day. That's why they stay fresh and hot on what you want and what you are looking for, and they can get it to you fast and cheap. And so there's so many different ways that you can utilize the technology in your business to beat your competition, to get there faster, to get smarter, and to make more money. I'll give you one last example, real-world example. I write business plans. And so there's a technology, AI technology, that allows me to build the framework of a business plan within 30 minutes. 30 minutes, I have a 20, 25-page business plan. It's not going to give me the financial projections. That's the hard work. I have to go in and look at your numbers to see. But the narrative and the framework for your business plan, 30 minutes in comparison to 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or never. This is, listen, I'm telling you the truth. I've been in it for 22 years. You can get what you need so you can move forward in real life, and it's saving you money and time, and that's what's most important.
Yeah, I'll give an example for myself as well. Like, I went to Oakland Public School District School. We didn't have really good education growing up, and I really hated writing. And I always wanted a newsletter. And so when I saw ChatGPT, I'm like, let me see if this thing can write a newsletter for me. And so I remember I just wrote some gibberish, some sentences didn't make sense. I put it in ChatGPT and I said, okay, make this into a newsletter. And it took my one little paragraph and it turned it into 3. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. And I sent that newsletter out and people said, yo, that was gold. And I'm telling y'all for real, this was a year ago. I have one of the top newsletters in VC on AI. And I wouldn't have been able to do this without AI, like at all. So all those things that you think you can't do, just see if AI can do it.
All those things you think you can't do, just see if AI can do it. I like it. So you guys have been talking about what happened, and I love hearing how you got started and how you stumbled upon it. But for our people out there, knowing where they are on that little spectrum that we talked about, how do they get started? Where do they go to get started using AI for their business?
I think one of the first ways is to kind of map out, what takes up a whole lot of your time. Because ultimately, AI is supposed to save you time, save you money, increase productivity. And so I would start mapping out just areas of your business that are taking you a whole lot of time, right? And I would say start small, right? There's a lot of things you can do with AI, right? But let's just say you start with email. Your inbox is crazy. You're trying to figure out, how can I write emails faster? You might be putting together contracts. How can I write contracts faster? It might be, you're taking meeting notes and transcribing those takes a long time. Can you use an AI tool that transcribes your meeting notes for you? So just every week you want to start to kind of slowly integrate it. And what I call it is AI playtime. You need to just basically put 2 hours a week on your calendar to play with the AI tools. Because if you do not play with them, you're not going to save the time. You can hear about all these tools, ChatGPT does this and this. You literally have to block off 2 hours on your calendar. I do mine on Friday. And as I hear about ideas that I can do with AI, I put together on a list, and I go to that list on Friday, and I say, okay, today I'm going to be learning a tool called Perplexity. I heard a lot about Perplexity. Perplexity is a tool that's similar to Google, really good for research. And so I take the 2 hours, I learn it, and now I'm using Perplexity every single day, right? And it's saving me time. So I would say the biggest thing, if you want to learn AI, is you have to build the space and time to learn it. Otherwise, it'll just kind of be this thing that you hear about.
I would say, how we hear that you don't know what you don't know until someone introduces it to you? AI done messed up, because the information that it gives us back are things that we never have been introduced to. We never would have known how to say it that way. We never would have known how to put it together or where to go to get the information. And in my opinion, y'all just opened up a whole new world for us as a people. And so therefore, when you are evaluating your business or evaluating a future business, and you're looking at the areas that you do well and the areas that you know nothing about, start with the areas you know nothing about and ask those questions and get information back. The one thing I do know about us as a people is, once you give me the information and I know what I'm doing, ain't nothing I can't do. And so that's I feel the missing gap, right? Is look at what you do know and what you do well, and then look at what you don't know, and then start playing, as Cliff mentioned, and researching and utilizing the tools. You can't mess it up. You're just gonna keep learning. It's sort of like the Matrix, in my opinion. You're just feeding me until I get it right, and then I'm gonna figure out how to make it work for me. And then you done messed up.
And I'll give you guys one of my gifts today is I would actually say sign up for my newsletter. Every week I break down all the AI news that came out, and I pick 5 tools out of the hundreds that came out for the week, the ones that we actually need to know, because there's a lot of fluff out there. There's a lot of people talking about, hey, I can do this, I can do this. I'm literally here to break it down and say, this is what you actually need to pay attention to. And then the other thing is, all of the tools that I've collected over the year, I've put them on a website, so you can go there as a small business owner right now and get those tools. And it's cliffnotes.ai. Very simple, cliffnotes.ai. And there's over 400 tools on there right now for small business owners that you can, use. Some are free, some are paid. But I don't think I've seen an AI tool that costs more than $100. So, but a lot of stuff is free.
It's wonderful. This conversation makes me very hopeful, but I know there are a lot of people that have a lot of concerns about AI and what it is doing to the job and the markets. What are the markets you think are going to be most affected as AI continues to evolve in the way that it is?
So that's an excellent question, because there's a lot of fear that's being circulated in the press about jobs. and job security, in the shift that companies, corporations, major organizations are making. Here's the reason why they're making it. If I just told you that you can save money using AI, they already know they can save money using AI, okay? So that's what they're looking at. However, if you are an employee of a company and you are looking at the value that you bring to that company in the position that you have through the knowledge and the skills and the expertise, use AI as the tool that helps you go further. It's purely a tool. And I was talking to a cousin who works for Accenture. He's a director with Accenture. And he was explaining to me how AI is nothing to be afraid of. AI is a tool that you need to learn how to leverage in order for you to make more money, look smarter, produce more, and beat your competition. And so I wouldn't be afraid of AI. I wouldn't be afraid of losing my job. I would be looking at how do I show and demonstrate that I bring value to the table because I know how to use this tool.
Yeah. Cliff, talking about that, about jobs, how will AI, as more businesses, get hip to the game and start using it and expecting it to be used by their employees, how's it going to change job roles?
Yeah, actually, LinkedIn came out with this report about 3 weeks ago where they surveyed 33,000 people. And one of the questions is, or for the leaders, it said that 66% of the people would not hire people if they don't have AI skills. Another stat was that I think it was like 60% of the people said that they would rather hire someone who knows how to use AI but doesn't have experience than somebody that just has experience and doesn't know AI. So we're going through this shift right now. So, and I think it's like 20% or at least 58% of the people in the United States have heard of ChatGPT. Only 18% of the people have actually used it. So all you people who raised their hands who were like, I'm using it, you guys are the early adopters. So you guys are the ones that the corporations are looking for, right? They're like, who has used AI? So the more and more you use it, the more valuable you become because this is going to be the new standard. And I think showing up to a job right now saying that you don't know how to use AI, and I would say like in about a year, is like showing up to a job saying you don't know how to use the internet. You're just not going to get hired. They're going to want you to be able to be productive with AI. And I think like we're just entering this new phase, and it's a shift just in the world really. And what we've created is what's called like a new digital species. Like this is a new form. It's not human, it's technical, right? But it's something that we can program to be whatever we want. If we need a marketer, we can program AI to be a marketer. If we need a lawyer, we can program AI to be a lawyer. So we're going to be entering this new phase where you can program AI to be what you want, right? And so just keep that in mind as this thing progresses. And here's the other thing is that this industry is moving faster than ever. It's like the iPhone, iPad, all coming and everything just coming all out at once. And so everybody's just kind of like, even the people who are in development, they're like, we don't even know what to do, but we're just going to keep developing, keep developing. And so we've reached this point in society where just the technology is expanding 2x, 3x, 4x in a year. And these models are getting smarter and smarter every single year. So my thing is just dive in. You're not too late. This is like we're still in think of this as like the iPhone 1, right? We're in the iPhone 1 right now. And it's powerful, but we just getting started.
Good stuff. Yeah.
So the industries that are going to be affected mostly by this during this first phase, I would say maybe about 5 to 6 that I see now. Finance is one. Fashion, as I mentioned. Yeah, I was about to say art and entertainment for sure. Fashion is the other. Food is the other. And believe it or not, manufacturing as well. And so those are the 5. I wouldn't say they are the only or the top, but those are the 5 that I see that are going to be impacted significantly, along with professional services. I should add that to that, right? Professional services is going to be impacted a great deal by AI. Can you take knowledge and make money from it faster is essentially what we're looking at. And so just be aware of that. And if you are in those industries, look at how you can capitalize on it and move faster, make more money using the technology during this phase.
So if I'm a solopreneur and I see my business growing, when I started looking, saying, I need help, I can't do this on my own. One of the earlier panels, they were saying, if you're out there at the front desk, that's $30,000, $50,000. I don't know if anyone was in here hearing that part, that you're not making because you're working a $20 an hour job, right? So if I'm that person, I'm looking to grow and to scale next. It sounds like I might want to consider not just looking for another expert in my field, but maybe someone that's an expert in ChatGPT or another AI source that could help me scale, because they can do the job of 2 or 3 experts using AI, and that still frees me up at less cost to me to grow and scale. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think we're at this point where there will probably be some sort of like robot that will also have ChatGPT attached to it that might be able to work that front desk, right? And take those calls in a human voice, in your voice. What's that?
Yeah, the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, Spirit in Las Vegas. Yeah. So we're getting into that thing where that space where it can do the job of us, and it's gonna be wild. Let's just say that.
I would love to say, now, to me, I wouldn't be afraid of that at all. I would be looking at, well, how can I create my own Black Spear? What can I build using this technology and get in the game as a developer? And because we can build things with our hands, we can build things with our brains too. And we should not be afraid of figuring out, how can I build an app that fits my industry? How can I build a robot that will help me save time internally or for someone else in the industry? I invite you to think bigger in that way, because right now there's no barriers. They haven't put any limitations on it yet, right? Because they want to make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. So while the Wild Wild West is wilding,
So how could we build our own tools? How could we build tools that we would license, for example? Things like that. Is that a possibility using AI?
Yeah, I'll give a real world example. I built this course on how to create a digital avatar, right? And it was kind of hard to build, and I just said I want to give this out to people. And so I had a woman from my high school. She sent me a message on Instagram. She said, I took your course, and she said, do you know that now I have a business charging people to create avatars for them? So that's the thing with AI, is like, if you hop in now and you become an expert now, you can charge people and just do a business just teaching people AI. And that's kind of where I'm kind of focused right now. I'm seeing the different impacts that AI is going to have, and I'm like, I want to teach people AI from the beginning, because this thing is going to be revolutionary.
Beautiful. And we're getting to the part where you guys are going to be able to actually ask our panelists some questions. So go ahead and get them ready. I don't know if we have someone in the mic. If not, I am going to be master of ceremonies and begin to. You have a question? Okay. So we're getting to that portion. You want to go ahead?
Yes.
Yeah.
My question is, where would a person start, would you say, the very beginning starting line at learning the basics?
Let me repeat for the audience. Her question was, what is the true starting line for beginning with AI, like the basic first step?
Yeah, I think the first thing you want to learn is ChatGPT. That's like literally just the 101 on AI and getting used to it. But more importantly, within that is learning how to prompt AI and learning how to talk to it. And because once you learn how to talk to AI and how to prompt it and how to structure it, and usually this, like the basics are, you want to give it a role, you want to give it a task, you might want to give it an example, and then you want it to tell you to or give it the output in which you want it. And those are just kind of like the basics. But once you get that, then you can bring that to other AI tools. It's all the same thing. If you want to prompt an image generation tool, you're going to need to say, I need you to create this and this and this and this. So you want to learn prompting is like the biggest thing. The other thing, though, I'll say from what I'm seeing is that ultimately we actually need to learn how to delegate. I know all of us want to be inside of our business. We can do all the things, but now we're at the point where we can delegate a lot of things. So I'll give an example. I was writing, or I had to write the copy for a landing page for a workshop I was doing, and I was just dreading writing the copy. And I said, let me just spend 15 minutes and tell AI to write it. So I said, all right, you are a master copywriter. You are going to write me a description for a workshop, no more than 500 words. Here's my last workshop, and then here's everything I want included in it. It took me about 15 minutes to write the prompt. I click enter, copy's done.
Love it.
So prompting is really, really key.
I have an answer for her as well. YouTube. Watching YouTube videos on those who are teaching you about AI and how to use it. That's the first place that I went, YouTube University. And then
PhD from there.
And then, after my son helped me. And then the second was Grammarly. So if you're a writer and you do a lot of writing, Grammarly has this add-on to the app. I had to pay for it. But everything that I write now, whether it's email or if it's in Google Docs or Word document app, Grammarly sits on top of it. And that little green button over there, you can tell it to improve what I just said or rewrite this in this way for them to understand or pull out the takeaways. When I tell you game changer, it's phenomenal. So download it, spend that money. And then the other, I would say, anywhere that you find a course on AI, Start, Pivot, Grow hosted a course on AI, and I had about 3 people sign up for that. I'm trying to give you game, and y'all didn't sign up. Sign up for all of the classes so that you can learn from others who are actually using it, and then you will figure out what you need from there. StartPivotGrow.com. And then the app that I was speaking of was Grammarly.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for this. I'm restarting a business, and I am an adult literacy specialist, and I'd like to do online classes, one-on-one. Cliff, I think maybe you kind of mentioned it. I basically use AI. So where do I go from there to create a curriculum online?
Okay, and you said, what was the type of curriculum?
Adult education. Right now, I'm in healthcare.
Healthcare. Mm-hmm. So here's what I do. I go home. I'd say, hello, Mr. ChatGPT. I am writing, or I want to create a course, an online course. Could you give me a one-page outline of the course and what I would talk about? Boom, you got the one-page outline. Now I'd say, take the first point that you've made on my outline, and I want you to build a curriculum on that.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Now you got the curriculum. Now I need you to give me the script that I'm going to say on video. Okay? And if you want to get crazy, we can get crazy with AI. You say, I'm going to upload a video of myself, and I need you to take that script and say it in my voice. So now you ain't got to do nothing. Okay? We can keep going. I keep going all day.
Now, can you, once they've gotten your information, is there any way that AI can help you with creating an assessment of their knowledge?
Of the knowledge of the people who are taking the classes? Or
Yes.
You're just saying, yeah, so you keep going into that chain of thought and you say, okay, now give me a quiz for each module.
That's what I was wondering,
right?
Yes.
And give me a 5-question quiz.
Okay.
A 6-question quiz.
I get you now.
You know, you just keep going. This thing is, just think of this thing as smart as ever.
Thank you very much.
It can take any task and it'll give it to you in seconds for free.
So there are some apps that are there to back up what Cliff was saying. So you can create a PowerPoint presentation using AI, taking that outline that was created for you, put that outline into the app and say, create my PowerPoint. 30 seconds later, you have a full design PowerPoint with every point from the outline from your class. Listen, you can do this stuff in 2 hours and be done and ready to make money.
The only thing is time. It's literally just spending time with it. That's it. You can be done today with that course.
Yes, you can. Love. And then there's another app called HeyGen, and it'll probably be on Cliff's list, so sign up for his newsletter.
HEYGEN.
That's it, And then it creates these avatar-based videos using your script. You could use your voice or theirs within minutes. Cliff Notes is his newsletter.
Beautiful. Everything's on Cliff Notes.
HeyGen or Cliff Notes? Hey, and then GEN.
Yep. HEYGEN.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, hi. My name is India Campbell, and two questions. So, when you were talking, I think is it Cliff? Is your name? When you were talking about like putting financials and getting AI to kind of do your financials for you, whoever, I'm not sure who that was. My concern from a legal perspective is when you're putting all your information, your personal data into AI, are you also agreeing that they can sell your information, use your information, redistribute your information? And the second question is, we know that AI has hallucinations. How am I going to ensure that I am not getting incorrect data and that I'm not inappropriately relying on the data?
Got it.
Yeah, that's excellent.
I can take it. I actually talked to this lawyer from Wilson Sonsini, big law firm out in Silicon Valley, about that specifically, because I was wondering too. I get this question all the time around privacy. And so the solution is that ChatGPT has this enterprise edition that doesn't train what you put into their model. And now they have also just released a feature where they basically say, whatever I put in there, don't train it, don't put this back into the thing. Because he was telling me this lawsuit around Samsung has coders. They were putting their code into ChatGPT, and then that code got out. And so now they have this big lawsuit, and he was saying, like, you got to do this enterprise version. I think it's $30 a month instead of doing just the regular or the free version. And then around the hallucination piece is, I would say two things. One is you always want to read and check the work, because we're in the wild, wild west right now, and that thing does hallucinate. And then two is just understand that, once again, this is iPhone 1, right? It's not there yet, right? So just don't trust everything that it puts out. Like definitely taking time. Like I've had where I have it do some analysis for me, and I'll go in and I'll do the analysis manually just to make sure that those numbers are right. Just because we're early. Yep.
So can I ask a quick question?
Real quick, can you talk about, for the audience that doesn't know, what we mean when we say hallucination?
So let's say you ask ChatGPT, give me the name of the football team in Dallas, the NFL team, and it'll say the Dallas Cowhats. That's a hallucination. It didn't say Cowboys. It got the cow right, and so there's just times that the AI will say things that it'll just make up stuff sometimes, and so you got to check it. You got to check it.
So think of AI technology on the back end as building blocks or Legos, okay? So people all over the world are putting data in, feeding it, okay? There isn't one machine, but feeding into it. And so level of data is here, and it's processing information. Then there's more data that's feeding that looks and resembles the same, so you get another second Lego block on top of that. So it's processing first layer, then second layer. So it has to go through all of those iterations of data and information to then determine, do I spit this out to you? Is this what you're asking me for? And sometimes it may not get it just right. So you do want to have quality assurance and quality control to make sure that as it's processing data from all over to produce an outcome for you, that it's what you're looking for and that it's accurate.
Hi, I'm Serafina. When you mentioned adding AI to resume or to your professional life, I am in healthcare payer contracting, and when you mentioned layman law, how can I use that to sort of say on my resume, hey, I think I can help out with this particular segment using AI?
Yeah, I mean, I would put in the skills sections all the tools that you know, right? So if I don't know if there are AI healthcare tools. I'm sure there are, but if there are, I would go learn those and then go put them on the resume, just like you put Photoshop or Microsoft Word or all the other tools, and definitely ChatGPT, because I think people are going to be looking for that. Like that's basically stamping you, saying that she can do more than just what a human could do alone.
Right. It'll take away that redlining process for the most part.
Can you repeat that question?
That the layman law or the ability to run a contract through AI should, for the most part, take away that redlining process of, like you said, what is it about this contract that I need to know before I sign it?
Yeah, I don't know if I can heard your thing correctly, but like layman law, yeah, that is one. There's another tool called Harvey AI as well. That's a legal app, and I'll tell you, I sat in a conference with lawyers who are all like, they're a little bit worried about their jobs and the money that they used to get, and so they're kind of like, you know what, all that advice that we used to charge up front that was easy, we're just gonna go ahead and give that away for free because AI is not, it's just taking our money, and so they're like, we're gonna have to deal with some complicated stuff.
And good.
Good, yeah, and good.
Hi, my name is Professor Lori Taylor. I do have a question, more like a comment that I would like for you to speak to. I'm currently working on a project right now with creativity and AI, specifically dealing with choreography and movement. And it has to do, it's like building on a legacy project with Wayne McGregor and the Google Arts and Culture Lab in Paris in 2019. So we just applied for a Rockefeller Map Fund grant. But the reason that I wanted to say that is because there's a lot of creatives in the room, and we're not really, maybe we didn't have an opportunity to address that segment. And there's a lot of people who are afraid to utilize creativity and AI. But I just wanted to say, like you said earlier, both of you, do not be afraid. Find a way to collaborate with the technology. As you continue to build, generate your own ideas, you can work as a partner with AI. Rather, AI is your partner. And you lead and spearhead the way with creative design, innovation, ideation. And that's how you get the one-up on the technology so that it does not get the one-up on you. And so I would just love for you all to speak to the creatives in the room and those who are working in the film, arts, and culture area, film, music, television production, etc. Thank you so much.
Welcome. My son created art that he was placing on his wall. And that art came from an example of a photograph that he had, but he wanted it to be enhanced and abstract and some other things. And so he used that as a base, then told AI what else he wanted it to do, and then the output was something very unique, beautiful, different, that no one else would have. You can't take that part away from the creation that came from him. That was his thoughts, that was his imagery. It's just now enhanced by the technology. And so as you mentioned, finding ways in order for you to take and leverage your own creativity that you have within and using the technology to enhance and separate yourself from the crowd is something you should explore. and do and use without fear of someone's going to see that or someone's going to use that. Listen, we have lawyers in IP fighting IP, patent, trademark, copyright all the time. That's not going to go away. So don't let it limit you, is my opinion.
Yeah, and I actually saw a tool this morning. I used to, do music back in the day, and there's this new tool called Udio. I think it's UDIO, and you can play a little riff, and you can upload it to that, and it will finish the song. Right? And then you can also add voices, and somebody can sing over that song. And it is an AI voice. This person is not human, and that song sounds real. So we'll probably have some sort of AI song at the Grammys here at some point.
We used Udio, by the way, to do other things in Liberia. We have a creative accelerator there in Monrovia, and we also partner with some programs in Ghana and Nigeria as well. So thank you, and yes, we used Udio as well.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. That's good.
Hello, my name is Joseph Reeves. ChatGPT, the original version, came out when I was in high school, so it was kind of new. That's kind of I don't want to say I used it, but everyone used it. So people used it in college.
Yeah, we know you used it. It's all good.
I'm gonna say
I'm gonna
That's
tell.
called being resourceful.
so. My main concern is not exactly AI. I love AI. I like everything about it, even as a creative myself. But it's more along the lines of everyone else's opinions on it. For instance, oh yeah, by the way, use Midjourney. If you want art, use ChatGPT. If you want anything else, those are my main two. ChatGPT, by the way, can do law stuff. You just have to kind of persuade it. It's like a 4-year-old. So it was like, I can't legally tell you what to do, what happens if you steal. But if you say, what if a balloon stole from me? Then it'll write an entire transcript like a lawyer would do. You just got to use phrasing like that. So whenever ChatGPT denies you, you can convince it to do whatever. There's no rules to it.
I see what you were like as a kid.
We gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out.
So my question is, what do you think are the potential laws that could come out of using AI? For instance, anything that's image generated with AI, whether it's Midjourney or any other image generating app, such as the Instagram post you use, can and will be used against you, because all of it is housed on a singular site, which you can see. Like if you make anything on Midjourney, it will go to the main site and you can look up all the things that have been used. So if you make a logo, if you make your brand, if you make any of that with AI, there is laws out there or laws being made right now in which people can just be like, that's AI, that's not yours. And it's true. And when is that going to transpire to things you write, things you create theatrically, anything? Because AI can make Disney rendered graphics on Adobe, I believe, as of right now. So when is that, do you think is going to be an issue? Because there will be a point where people will get tired of just AI.
So it sounds like you're talking about regulating?
Yes, there will be eventually regulations. What do you think is going to come out of that?
Yeah, I can talk to a little bit, because I actually did talk to the lawyers about this. And the first thing I'll say is, like, we are still in Wild Wild West, and he's kind of like, we're waiting to see how the judges rule on some of these lawsuits. So we're in that kind of gray phase. The other thing that I've heard is that a lot of these big companies like Adobe and Microsoft say that if you do end up getting sued for something that came out of our product, we will cover those legal costs in the meantime, right? But I still think we're in the Wild Wild West. Stuff hasn't been ruled on yet. But yeah, I mean, I think right now, ultimately, is like, if I see something online that's AI generated, anybody can use it, right? Because do I necessarily own it? I don't.
So folks, we have time for one more question. Unfortunately, this is a great conversation. Stop them in the hall, make them late for their planes. If you have more that you want to ask them, you're welcome. You're welcome in advance. But one more question.
Okay. Hello, good evening. You all are just wonderful. But I've always been a concerned citizen for the human race. I'm not against AI, but the Lord has given me foreseeing the future. And what He has shown me in about 3, 4, 5 years where AI, dementia will increase because people will not be using all of their brain. AI will be using about 40%. They're not going to be thinking like they think when we did not have AI. And the jobs, like the wonderful lady said, the employers are going to use AI to replace a lot of regular women. I'm talking about girls with 4 and 5 kids. No more customer service like AT&T Tech out there. It had 500 women, 1,000 women on the phone talking to people, calling people. AI has taken all of that already. And where they at? McDonald's. But McDonald's is getting ready to go AI. And so the girls are home collecting welfare checks because the computers is taking over like Arnold Schwarzenegger movie said it would about 15 years ago. Now, I respect it, but the government need to put in place that when I think of something, I'm a writer. I wrote a poem for my deceased daughter. I was so upset I had it copyrighted to protect it now. And AI had nothing to do with it. It came from my brain. It came from me, no part of it. And is there anything on the computer that if I come up with something, AI part, is there a signal or a label or seal that say, okay, this part is AI, it was not Miss Johnson? Is there something that people will know that it's all of me, or 50% of me, 20% of me, 3 sentences, 1 paragraph, the whole 25 pages? Because
I hear what you're saying.
Yes,
there has been the thought, and tell me what you guys think, and then we're going to have to say goodbye, unfortunately, that those that are artists, that are creative, that are still doing their own organic work and not including AI, it's going to be a special niche, and there's going to be more added value to that product. But what do you guys have to say on that?
Yeah, I mean, to the last piece of it, you know, there are AI detectors out there, and I think Meta has now starting to add tags made with AI to any content on there that has been made with AI, because, you know, there's a lot of people that are doing misinformation videos out there, and I mean, that actually is my biggest worry, because right now I can find any video of you online right now talking, and for $5 in 5 minutes, I can clone you and have you say whatever I want you to say, and that is a problem. So don't get me wrong, I know that there's definitely fear around that, but I think these tools are going to start, you know, basically, you know, tagging this AI-generated content, and I think it still will be very valuable to say, like, you know, I created this myself, right? And people might be able to charge more for something that's not AI-generated, but I think ultimately, just AI is just making people more productive with, you know, what they have.
Great. Go ahead.
Sorry. I want to say that I agree with you and I understand what you're saying. Being old school myself, as I mentioned in the very beginning, I understand what this looks like, but I also understand that we're not using all of our brains anyway. And if I can get a leg up to make more money right now, that's what I'm going to do. But I do have a fear about the future, don't get me wrong. But I also believe in technology and the possibilities as well.
Well said, well said. Ladies and gentlemen, can we agree that this is the beginning of a conversation? Let's make sure that you follow Cliff. Cliff, how do they follow you?
Cliffnotes.ai.
Beautiful. And you follow Miss Beautiful Cynthia. How do they follow you?
Start Pivot, Pivot, grow.com.
And I am Jael Hakimian with Stand Together. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed your weekend.